Hello there, it's Tito here. So today we're going to look at what are the prerequisites or the requirements for you to apply for a study permit to study in a Canadian institution. And institutions can be a college or a university or just a place of learning. So what are normally the requirements? The requirements are as below. But the first one is that you must have a letter of offer or letter, or they like to call it letter of acceptance. That is letter of offer from the school you want to attend studies. So that's the first requirement, letter of acceptance. The second requirement would be the school has to be a designated learning institution. That is a school which has been approved by the federal or the provincial government across Canada. So I told you about the makeup of the Canadian country. It's made up of provinces. So also there's also a head of government called a prime minister. So it's good to know that. So DLI, that's if you hear the word DLI, is designated learning institutions, as I've said. Now you have the letter of acceptance. Also, the school also is a DLI approved school or institution. So to apply for a visa or study permit per se, what is the process? So to apply for a visa study permit, you require to have proof of funds. That's proof of funds for 1 year. 1 year, that is just to cover your expenses, and they normally recommend 10,000 Canadian dollars and above for a typical 1 year, regardless of the province. The second thing is that you are supposed to show that you can also have proof of funds to sustain your studies for a whole year. And it's not just for 1 year. There also has to be a plan on how you're going to maintain your expenses as well as your studies for the following years if it's a program of more than 1 year. So the other thing besides the proof of funds, the government also want to know that you are a temporary visa, you have a temporary intent. By that I mean that your plan is just to go and study and go back to your country when your study ends. So in your application, you should not show that your intent is is something else besides the studies. And by that I mean that maybe you are applying and you don't show that there's something that will take you back to your country. Maybe you are taking a leave from work and you resume that work when you finish your studies, or maybe you have a family that you have left behind, so after your studies you are most likely to go back to your country. The other thing is that you have a plan, that is the study should also be reflective of what you want to go to do back in your country. So those are things that help you to prove ties. Also, you could be having property in your country, assets, and that maybe banks use sums of money in your local bank account that shows that there is something you are leaving behind and you intend to come back to it. Yeah, or maybe it could be an investment. So that's one. So I've talked of letter of acceptance. The school has to be DLI approved. Another thing is that with regard to visa, you're supposed to have the funds as well as and the funds should cover expense for a year as well as your tuition fee. And also you should also show that you have the intent of being a temporary visa holder when you go to Canada and you intend to go back to your country after your studies. So you also have the scenario whereby somebody is sponsoring you. It can be your parents, it can be your siblings, it can be your elder brother, elder sister, your aunt, your uncle, name them. So the ideal situation would be that if a person wants to sponsor you, the ideal situation would be that person sending the money to your account to show that a person is really willing to spend on you. Because if you use the bank statement while it's your sponsor's account, it will be difficult for you to prove that actually the sponsor will be faithful to paying for your upkeep while you are in Canada. So if the person sends the money to your account, it shows intent, and because he has shown commitment by sending it to your account. The other thing is you have to show that is that the sponsor just sending you the money or willing to sponsor your studies. The sponsor you also have prior interaction with the sponsor. So it should not be a sponsor that comes up all of a sudden. It has to be a proof of continuous support over time. Yeah, so that's if you are planning to use a sponsor. So if you are sponsoring yourself, you are called a first party. If your immediate family are sponsoring you, the second party, and beyond that is the third party and fourth party as you go further. So it's good just to know that. So it's very easy. So when you're applying for school, what is the first thing you need to do? And it's all about planning. So the first thing is you have to know the course you want to go and study, and then know your budget. And as I told you, Canada is made up of province, so know the target province and the province that's ideal for you, and also know that which budget are you comfortable with when the place you want to go to study. That knowing where you're going to study will help you to know the cost of living there, as well as what to expect when you get there. So another thing is knowing where you want to study also helps you to plan for the housing, because as at now there is a housing crisis in Canada, but prior planning is very, very important. So you know the course you want to study, you have your budget, you apply with the school. Some charge application fee, some don't, but probably through my experience, the one I applied to, they charged both 8,000 Kenyan shillings to 10,000. That's like how many dollars? The dollars now is 100 Kenyan shillings is equivalent of $1 Canadian. The currency varies from country to country, but probably can't exceed 250 Canadian dollars. Maybe that's very extreme, but between 250, 100, some they have 150 Canadian dollars, some are 50 Canadian dollars. But so you pay the application fee, the school gets back to you if you meet their prerequisites requirements. The school will also want to know if you are conversant with the English language, as the IELTS, or you have had the CELP or the Canadian English benchmark exam. They also accept that, or Duolingo, or whatever English exam that's acceptable by your school and the visa officers. So you know you have known your course, you have your budget, you applied to your school, you have paid the application fee, you have granted offer. When you have the letter of acceptance, before even having the letter of offer, the certain schools have their requirement for you to hold the offer. For my school, Algonquin College, I was supposed to pay the first semester fee for the fall term by 1st of June. So if that's the case, that applies to you. Pay your fee, and then you have your letter of offer. So once you have your letter of offer, now you can start the visa process, and it's very easy. As I've told you, you can apply by yourself, because personally I have not been approved, but I know people who have been approved by them applying for themselves. So it's very easy. So have faith, because I think what I do believe is that when you're applying for yourself, you are very keen, because when someone is applying for you, they can make a mistake, and that mistake can really cost you, because you can get banned, and because out of not being doing a follow-up of your application. And by the way, doing yourself is the best policy I would always advocate for a study permit. So that's study permit. And if you do have any questions, kindly feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and maybe give me your ideas on the comment section. I really appreciate. Thank you, and I love you so much. I'm looking forward to handling more videos that help you to make your immigration process easier. So disclaimer, I'm not an immigration agent. I'm just an individual who is very enthusiastic about helping my folks out. And thank you so much, and have a lovely day.